never expected in life to not have suffering. I know that that is a part of life and that's to be expected. But of course, when we were pregnant with Karis, we so much wanted everything to be perfect. I dreamed about this little baby talking to me in full sentences and interacting with me and conversing with me. It's been very painful to have to put that dream aside and deal with the reality of who Karis is. It's still really hard to hear that first time your daughter has autism.
Cases of autism have increased more than 600% since the late 1990s. 1 in 150 children born today will be diagnosed with autism, making it more common than pediatric cancer, diabetes, and AIDS combined. Yet the more prevalent autism has become, the longer the shadow the disease seems to cast. Taking the first step of getting an accurate diagnosis is critical for both parents and their children.
Whenever a family is faced with a child who may have a delay in development, it's a devastating type of thing to think about. All of a sudden, people start to talk about, oh, I think your son has this, I think your daughter might have this, and it becomes really confusing.
Always at the forefront of treating children with developmental disabilities, Children's Hospital Los Angeles took another step forward in 2008 when, thanks to the generosity of the Boone Family Foundation, they opened the Boone Fetter Clinic.
When you're seeing a child who has a suspected delay, they may see a speech and language pathologist, they may see an occupational therapist, they may see a developmental behavioral pediatrician separately. Those providers may not necessarily even know one another. They may not necessarily talk with one another in terms of what their findings are. And so what often happens is parents are left with a set of recommendations, a set of impressions by each of the providers without any kind of unifying theme. Our clinic has all of those disciplines within one setting.
The centerpiece of the Boone Fetter Clinic's approach is an in-depth, interdisciplinary assessment of a child suspected to have autism. A team of world-class specialists, including a developmental pediatrician, a child psychologist, a speech therapist, an occupational therapist, and a nurse care manager, work together to help make the most accurate diagnosis.
What we wanted to do was to create a space here at Children's Hospital Los Angeles where we could really create a nurturing, warm, comforting environment to families who are often incredibly stressed out and have really struggled to get into the door.
Each case of autism is as unique as the child who has it, which is why diagnosis and assessment are so difficult and so critically important. But as different as every case is, many are marked by a similar frightening trajectory, where parents slowly grow concerned that their child might not be developing normally.
Karis really did seem to develop typically as far as we could tell. She would babble and coo like babies are supposed to do. She would definitely smile at us and look at us. But then it was a little bit odd when she hit about 1. She had a couple words, but she was talking less than some other kids that we knew. And she didn't walk until 15 months.
Families know that there's a problem, and they're often looking for someone to help them develop the right solution to the problem.
The turning point came when Karis was 2.5 years old. After spending a week with her, family visiting from out of town noticed she behaved differently than other children her age.
First time Karis's Aunt Valerie mentioned the word autism was really awful and devastating. There's no question that at that time I was still in denial. I mean, I definitely thought, I'm so sad they think that, but there's no way, not Karis. She laughs, she connects with us, she enjoys us, we play together. There's no way my daughter could have autism. But the more I started to read and to get deeper into it, and I started to see the red flags and started to get very, very concerned.
As Marnie's concern grew, so did her sense of urgency. Everything she read indicated that early intervention is the key to improve an autistic child's outcome.
So to have a resource like the Boone Fetter Clinic that can assist in getting an early diagnosis is wonderful to have available for parents.